You won't believe what just went down in Atlanta. Season 13 of Love and Hip Hop. Atlanta has already given us jaw-dropping moments. But nothing, and we mean nothing, could have prepared fans for the explosive chaos that just rocked Yandy and Karlie's world. In a shocking twist no one saw coming, longtime frenemies Yandy Smith and Karlie Redd found themselves at the center of a public, messy, and downright brutal fallout that's got fans reeling and social media in flames. It all started with a tense encounter at a high-profile industry event, and by the end of the night, Yandy was left humiliated in front of the entire cast, and Karlie, she's now facing legal hell that could change everything. What triggered the drama? Sources say it all began when Karlie pulled out receipts on Yandy alleging shady business deals and betrayal that sent Yandy over the edge. But what Karlie didn't count on was the backlash. Not only did Yandy hit back with her own bombshells, but the confrontation spiraled so far out of control, security had to intervene, and that was just the beginning. Within 24 hours, lawyers got involved, NDAs were threatened, and now, Karlie's being slapped with a lawsuit that could cost her more than just money. She could lose her reputation, her brand, and even her freedom. But here's the kicker: despite all that, some cast members are whispering that Yandy planned the whole thing, setting Karlie up to take the fall in front of cameras. Could this be the ultimate revenge plot disguised as drama? Or is Yandy genuinely the victim of a vicious smear campaign gone too far? Emotions are running high. The family is divided. Allegiances are being tested. And as the scandal continues to spiral, fans are left asking, who's lying? Who's scheming? And who's going down? Stay tuned, because what happens next might just blow the roof off Love and Hip Hop Atlanta as we know it. It started as just another glamorous night in Atlanta, a red carpet event packed with flashing cameras, designer gowns, and cast members from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 13 looking like royalty. But beneath the glitz, something sinister was brewing. Yandy Smith walked in with her usual poise, her head held high and her confidence unshakable, unaware that Karlie Redd was already inside, sipping champagne with a smirk that screamed trouble. Everyone could feel it, the tension in the air, like the city itself was holding its breath. Whispers circled the room as Karlie, dressed in a fire engine red dress that turned heads and dropped jaws, signaled her assistant. Moments later, her team rolled in with a camera crew and a manila envelope that would become the catalyst of chaos. Yandy was mid-conversation with Rashida when Karlie strutted over, all fake smiles and deadly intentions. I think it's time people saw the real Yandy, Karlie purred, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. The room froze. Yandy blinked, confused, before glancing at the envelope in Karlie's hand. What's this? Another one of your stunts, Karlie? Yandy asked coolly, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of unease. Karlie didn't respond immediately. She held the envelope up like a trophy, and with deliberate flair, opened it. Inside? Dozens of printed emails, screenshots, and alleged legal documents, supposedly showing Yandy's involvement in shady business dealings, missing funds from a joint charity event, falsified vendor invoices, and a mysterious wire transfer to an account registered in Panama. Gasps spread like wildfire. Yandy's jaw tightened. That's fabricated, she hissed. You printed out lies to get attention? But Karlie wasn't done. Tell that to the sponsors who pulled out last week. Or better yet, she leaned in closer, tell it to your lawyer. I already did. That was the spark. Within seconds, voices rose, phones started recording, and cast members swarmed around the two women. Scrappy tried to step in. Ayo, you'll need to chill. This ain't the time or place. But neither Yandy nor Karlie backed down. Yandy's voice cracked as she shouted, you're trying to ruin my name. For what? A storyline? Karlie clapped back. You did that all on your own, sweetheart. I'm just holding up the mirror. What followed was pure chaos. Chairs got pushed, a table nearly tipped, and producers had to cut filming for nearly an hour to separate them. Later that night, a teary-eyed Yandy was seen leaving the venue in a black SUV, her makeup smudged and her phone pressed to her ear. According to close sources, She called her legal team immediately and began preparing to file a cease and desist against Karlie. But the damage was already done within minutes. Clips of the confrontation hit Twitter and Instagram. Hashtags like hashtag Karlie exposed Yandy and hashtag Yandy scandal began trending before midnight. Fans were split. Some backed Yandy, calling Karlie thirsty and jealous. Others believed Karlie had just delivered the reality TV moment of the decade. Back at her condo, Karlie was celebrating not quietly, but on Instagram Live, laughing with her girls and sipping Ross. "Yo, I told you she was fake," she declared to thousands of viewers. "I'm just doing God's work, cleaning up the industry one fraud at a time." Meanwhile, Yandy was anything but calm. According to a friend who asked to remain anonymous, Yandy was heartbroken not just because of the public embarrassment, but because Karlie was someone she had once tried to mentor. She saw potential in Karlie, tried to help her get deals, even vouched for her when others wouldn't. The source revealed this wasn't just betrayal. It was a knife to the back on national TV. But things weren't over. The next morning, Karlie received a letter from Yandy's attorney demanding a formal retraction, a public apology, and immediate removal of all posts related to the confrontation. Karlie laughed it off. She posted a selfie with the caption, "Lawyer, up sis, I'm already 10 steps ahead." That's when things took an even darker turn. A third party, someone from the charity event in question, came forward anonymously to a gossip blog, claiming that not only were Karlie's documents forged, but she had been the one to mishandle funds. Screenshots leaked allegedly showing Karlie requesting payment under a fake business name. Fans were thrown into a frenzy. Could this be a double setup? Was Karlie using fake receipts to frame Yandy and got caught red-handed herself? Or was this just another distraction in a bigger scheme? Producers wasted no time. They rescheduled filming for an emergency cast sit-down, hoping to get to the bottom of the escalating mess. But no one could have anticipated how wild that meeting would get. As cast members filed into the rented mansion for filming, everyone held their breath, wondering what bombshell would drop next. The cameras were rolling, mics were hot, and when Yandy walked in, documents in hand, flanked by her legal counsel, nobody was ready for what she had planned next. The room fell into a heavy silence as Yandy entered, her heels clicking on the marble floor like a ticking time bomb. She didn't greet anyone. She didn't glance left or right. She walked straight to the middle of the living room setup, placed her leather binder on the glass table, and crossed her arms. Behind her, her legal rep, a young, sharp woman with piercing eyes and an iPad in hand, stood like a sentry. Karlie, who had been sipping a mimosa and laughing with Tokyo Vanity and Bambi, visibly stiffened. Her confidence wavered for a moment, but she covered it quickly with a raised eyebrow and a smirk. "Oh, so now it's court TV?" she sneered. Yandy ignored her. "I've got something to say, and I want every camera in this house rolling," she said, her voice low but powerful. The producers nodded, queuing up the cameras. The rest of the cast gathered in a half circle, everyone watching with anticipation, unsure if they were about to witness vindication or total devastation. "I've been silent long enough," Yandy began. "I let you humiliate me in front of everyone. I let you parade your lies on social media. But now, we're going to deal with facts." She opened the binder and slid a few sheets across the table toward Karlie. "These are certified financial records, not from me but from the charity's official accountant. They show every expense, every transaction, and every dollar trail. And guess what's not there? Any fraudulent activity on my part." Karlie didn't move. Her eyes scanned the papers without touching them. Yandy continued, "But you know, what is there? A payment $5,000 to a shell company registered under the name Red Vibes LLC. Wanna guess whose LLC that is?" Everyone gasped. Karlie opened her mouth to protest, but Yandy raised her hand. "Wait, there's more. That company? It doesn't even have a legal tax ID. It's a ghost account. And the IP address tied to the invoice submission?" Yandy pointed directly at her. "It came from your assistant's phone. The same assistant who DM'd me begging for a second chance after you fired her." Karlie's face went pale. Tokyo Vanity muttered, "Girl, what is this?" Rashida stepped forward, arms crossed. "Tell me this ain't real, Karlie." Tell me you didn't fake evidence and try to ruin this woman's life for clout. Karlie finally snapped. I didn't. I was told the documents were real. I had a source. Yandy barked back. You mean the same source who once tried to sue Mona for defamation and lost? That woman hasn't told the truth since season 3. Emotions ran high. The cast exploded into overlapping voices. Bambi and Erica Mena tried to play mediator, but even they looked confused about who to believe. The producers paused filming again to calm everyone down. But Yandy wasn't done. I'm pressing charges for defamation, she announced, and I'm suing for damages. You cost me 2 endorsement deals. One of them was with a national skincare line. You messed with my money, Karlie, and for that, you'll pay. Karlie stood abruptly, her voice shaking. This is a setup. You think you're better than me because you went to college and married a businessman. I built my name from the ground up. I hustled for everything I have. No, you lied for everything you have, Yandy snapped. There's a difference. Tears welled in Karlie's eyes, but she refused to let them fall. You think fans will believe you? You're not squeaky clean, Yandy. Everyone's got skeletons. Then bring mine, Yandy challenged, stepping closer. I've got nothing to hide. Can you say the same? The silence that followed was deafening. Karlie slowly sat back down, her hands trembling. The other cast members exchanged uneasy glances. Sierra whispered to Spice, this is about to destroy her. That night, production wrapped early. Karlie didn't stay to film her confessionals. She left in a hurry, her face hidden behind oversized sunglasses. Meanwhile, Yandy sat alone in the green room, quietly sipping tea and scrolling through her phone. Her team had already emailed a press statement to the blogs, and within hours, headlines exploded. Yandy shuts down fraud claims with receipts. Karlie Redd faces possible legal action after explosive accusations, and LHATL's wildest showdown yet. What really went down between Yandy and Karlie? But the legal hell was just beginning. 2 days later, Karlie received a formal court notice. She was being sued for defamation, libel, and slander with a damages estimate of $1.3 million. Worse still, the charity foundation had launched their own internal audit, and Karlie's name was under red-flagged review. Suddenly, sponsors started backing out of her makeup line's launch event. One boutique pulled out, then another, and fans began flooding her comment section with snake emojis and hashtags like #KarlieLies and #JusticeForYandy. Her once loyal supporters were vanishing fast. But Karlie wasn't going down without a fight. She called her manager, her lawyer, and even a crisis PR team. I need to fix this, she said, her voice shaking but determined. They want a villain? I'll give them a redemption arc instead. What no one knew was that Karlie had one last move, one person, one piece of dirt she'd been holding onto for years just in case the day ever came where she needed to burn it all down. And now, the match was in her hand. All she had to do was strike it. 3 nights later, while the city buzzed with gossip and blogs dissected every second of the mentioned showdown, Karlie Redd vanished from public view. No Instagram Live, no paparazzi sightings, not a single cryptic tweet, just silence. But behind closed doors, Karlie was crafting the ultimate counterattack, a plan so dangerous, so nuclear, it had the power to not only shake Yandy's reputation, but bring down multiple cast members in a single blow. She called it her Scorched Earth file. It was a folder she had been compiling for years: texts, audio clips, behind-the-scenes footage from unaired scenes, and protected whispers from producers too messy to ever go public. And at the center of it all, a 10-minute voice memo, allegedly capturing a private call between Yandy and a mystery executive discussing manipulating charitable funds to secure a reality TV arc. Whether it was authentic or not didn't matter. Karlie knew the perception alone could cause serious damage. And with her back against the wall, she decided it was time to detonate. The morning of her makeup line's now downsized launch event, Karlie uploaded a grainy teaser video to her Instagram story with only one caption: "You wanted receipts. Let's talk." The internet erupted. Fans were spinning theories. Who was on the call? Was it doctored? Was this revenge or exposure? Yandy hadn't responded yet, but within hours, her legal team filed an emergency injunction to block the full release. Still, the damage had already started. Blogs reposted the audio. One YouTuber analyzed the waveform and claimed it matched Yandy's voice. Another insider, anonymous, of course, suggested the audio came from a conversation recorded during a LHATL after-party in 2021. Twitter was ablaze. Team Karlie and Team Yandy were at war in the comments, and cast members were being dragged into the frenzy. Rashida tweeted a cryptic message: "That's why you don't throw stones when you live in a glass house." Tokyo Vanity unfollowed both of them, posting only, embarrassed to be associated with this circus. Backstage, producers were panicking. The storyline had spun wildly out of control. What was meant to be a spicy subplot had turned into a legal crisis that could jeopardize the whole season. Mona Scott-Young herself was rumored to have flown into Atlanta to sit both women down and demand damage control. But when she arrived at the LHATL production office, Yandy was already there, composed, polished, and ready for war. "I'm done playing nice," she told Mona flatly. "She slandered me on national television, and now she's fabricating evidence. I've got my own insurance. If VH1 won't protect me, I'll walk and take my fan base with me." Mona, ever the puppeteer, stayed calm. "Let me talk to her," she said. When Karlie arrived 30 minutes later, all eyes were on her. She looked exhausted, bags under her eyes, lips pressed into a hard line, but her energy was defiant. "I'm not backing down," she said before Mona even opened her mouth. "If Yandy wants a war, she picked the right one." "You're hurting the brand," Mona snapped. "This is entertainment, Karlie, not scorched earth. You're bringing real lawsuits into a space that's meant to simulate conflict, not actually destroy lives." "Then tell her to stop suing me," Karlie shot back. "Tell her to stop pretending she's some perfect queen when we all know stop." Mona raised a hand. "You want to air dirty laundry? Fine, but you do it on camera, and you do it under control. You want to clear your name? You'll do it the VH1 way. Reunion episode. Uncut, unfiltered. One final sit down." Karlie's expression shifted. She realized what Mona was offering: a final televised showdown. One last stage to plead her case or go down in flames. She nodded. "Fine, but I want full editorial approval of my segment." Mona smirked. "You'll get your moment. Just remember, how you use it determines what happens next season." The stage was set. The season 13 reunion taping was moved up by 3 weeks. A massive studio was rented, and security was doubled. The audience? Select fans, influencers, and media personalities. The stakes had never been higher. On the day of the taping, tension buzzed through the air like static. Yandy arrived in a sleek all-black suit, exuding power and control. Karlie wore white, symbolic, perhaps, or just ironic. She looked radiant, but her eyes betrayed the storm inside. The cast members took their places on the couches, but it was clear the spotlight belonged to 2 women only. The reunion host, seated between them, didn't waste time. "Ladies, Atlanta's been talking. The world's been watching. Are you ready to address what really happened?" Yandy spoke first. Calm, direct. "I was attacked. On social media, in person, with lies and forged documents. I lost money, opportunities, peace, and I came here to reclaim it all." Karlie laughed bitterly. "You lost peace? I lost everything. My brand, my credibility, my friends. All because I trusted the wrong people, and yes, maybe I went too far trying to expose you. But you're not innocent, Yandy. You're calculated." "Calculated?" Yandy shot back. "I built my career by lifting other women up. You built yours by tearing them down." "No. I survived, Yandy. While you got PR teams and sponsorships, I hustled. I turned pain into product. Don't sit there and act like you're morally above me." The argument exploded from their accusations flying, tears falling, cast members gasping. Even Mona looked rattled. And then, just when it seemed the reunion was spiraling into another chaos fest, Karlie did the unthinkable. She pulled out a flash drive. "If you won't believe me, let's let the fans decide. Roll the clip." The crowd gasped. Producers scrambled. Yandy's lawyer leapt up, but the reunion host gave the nod. A giant screen behind the set lit up and the tape played. What happened next changed everything. The screen flickered to life, and for a few seconds, The audio was muffled static, a shaky camera angle, the unmistakable sound of clinking glasses in the background. Then, a voice emerged, clear, distinct, and unmistakably Yandy's. "Look," the voice said, "as long as we funnel the expenses under promotional costs, no one's going to flag it. The point is to keep the optics clean. The charity shines, the show gets a plot, and we all win." Gasps erupted from the audience. On set, chaos ignited. Yandy's face froze in disbelief. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Mona's eyes widened. Even the cameramen paused, unsure if they were still supposed to be filming. The voice continued, "I don't care who signs the checks. Just make sure Karlie doesn't know. She'll blow it all up, like she always does." Karlie sat motionless, lips trembling, eyes locked on Yandy. The crowd was stunned. And then, slowly, Yandy stood. "That's fake," she said, but her voice cracked. "That's edited. That's not even from the same year, it's real." Karlie snapped. "You said those words and you used me as a scapegoat. You lied to the network. You lied to the fans. You tried to bury me. And now, you're exposed." A stagehand rushed out with a message from legal filming had to pause immediately for review. Mona signaled a hard cut. The cast was escorted off stage. Security ushered the audience out, and within minutes the reunion had imploded. What was meant to be the most explosive episode of the season had turned into a full-blown legal emergency. Backstage, Yandy was in shambles. Her legal team surrounded her, whispering furiously. One of her assistants was seen crying. Meanwhile, Karlie? She collapsed into Tokyo's arms, sobbing. "I didn't want to go this far," she whispered. "I just wanted her to stop coming for me." But there was no turning back now. VH1 released a statement hours later. Due to ongoing legal matters involving cast members Yandy Smith Harris and Karlie Redd, the reunion episode of LHHATL S13 will be delayed pending internal investigation. The blogs exploded. Yandy caught on tape. Karlie's revenge is real. Mona's empire at risk. Twitter declared it the greatest reunion never aired. The footage leaked anyway, unofficially, of course. Clips circulated Reddit, X formerly Twitter, and YouTube, hitting millions of views in hours. Fans were eating it up like it was Thanksgiving dinner, but the aftermath was anything but entertaining. Within a week, Yandy lost a brand ambassadorship with a major beauty label. Her podcast sponsors pulled out. Even one of her nonprofit partners froze communications pending review. She issued a statement insisting the audio was heavily manipulated and maliciously released out of context. But for many, the damage was already done. Meanwhile, Karlie, once dubbed the drama queen who cried wolf, was being hailed as a survivor who finally stood up for herself. Her social media following doubled. Her makeup brand made triple in sales after the drama. Fans flooded her DMs with support. Even longtime haters admitted she really did that. But it wasn't all glory. Karlie received threatening emails, had to beef up her security, and struggled with panic attacks. "I won," she told a close friend, "but I don't feel like I did." Back at VH1 headquarters, the production team was scrambling to rewrite the rest of the season. Mona called an emergency meeting. "We have two options," she said. "We either let this story eat us alive or we flip the script and own it." That's when the idea hit. A 3-part docu-series, The Fall of a Queen, the Yandy Karlie saga, cast interviews, expert analysis, never-before-seen footage, and a finale no one would forget. Karlie agreed immediately. Yandy hesitated, but in the end accepted. "If I go down," she reportedly told Mona, "I'm taking the whole house with me." The series aired 1 month later. Ratings broke records. The network hadn't seen numbers this high since Joseline's infamous reunion brawl. Fans tuned in weekly, dissecting every detail. Who doctored what? Who knew what? And when? Were other cast members complicit? Scrappy admitted on camera, "I thought it was just another fight. I didn't realize it would end up in court." Bambi confessed, "We all have dirt. But this was career-ending stuff." And then, during part 3 of the series, the twist no one expected, Karlie's own assistant came forward. In a taped interview, she claimed she had edited parts of the recording, cutting out a second voice that offered more context. "Karlie didn't know," she said tearfully. "She thought it was real. I just wanted to help her win. Suddenly, the pendulum swung. Fans turned. Blogs flipped. If Karlie didn't know, she wasn't malicious, but if she did know, it was game over. The internet became a war zone. And once again, Karlie and Yandy were caught in a storm neither fully controlled. Both women went quiet after that. No posts, no interviews, no club appearances. VH1 issued a final statement. We stand by our cast. We respect their journeys, and we hope to bring them back when the time is right. But whether that time would ever come, no one could say. What was certain, this wasn't just reality TV anymore. This was real lives, real consequences, and a rivalry that burned brighter and cut deeper than anything Atlanta had ever seen. Weeks passed. Atlanta's skyline glittered like nothing had happened, but behind closed doors, the city's entertainment world was still reeling from the most shocking scandal in love and hip-hop history. The fallout had shifted the power dynamics of the entire cast, left alliances shattered, and transformed Karlie and Yandy from reality stars into national tabloid fixtures. What began as a petty rivalry for screen time had now spiraled into one of the most high-stakes legal and emotional battles the franchise had ever witnessed. Yet despite the silence from both women, the battle wasn't over. It had only entered its quietest and most dangerous phase. Yandy, once Atlanta's reigning Queen of Grace under pressure, was now struggling to maintain her public image. Despite her team's best efforts to spin the leaked audio as fake, doubt had begun to creep in. Every brand email came with the phrase pending review. Her husband Mendeecees had reportedly flown in early from New York to support her. But sources close to the couple revealed there were now serious tensions behind the scenes. He told her she should have let it go. One friend whispered, he said it wasn't worth the money or the mess. And now, he feels like she dragged the family into a war that didn't need to happen. Yandy, however, refused to back down. In private meetings, she began preparing a countersuit not against Karlie this time, but against her former assistant, the one who had allegedly helped leak the audio. It's defamation, and it's illegal, she reportedly told her lawyer. They're going to learn that playing with my name has consequences. Meanwhile, Karlie's high from public sympathy was beginning to fade. Yes, her brand was booming. Yes, her followers had exploded. But inside, she was unraveling. The assistant's confession had taken a toll on her credibility, and her deepest fear that the world would stop believing her again was coming true. Even Bambi, who had been cautiously supportive, pulled back. I love Karlie, she told a fan during a live stream, but I can't get behind a movement that might be built on manipulated receipts. We've got to hold each other accountable too. Karlie, now in damage control mode, fired her assistant, released a public apology video in tears, and admitted she should have done more due diligence before airing anything. I believed something because I wanted to, she confessed. I didn't want to destroy Yandy. I was tired of being made out to be a liar. But the apology wasn't enough for everyone. Several cast members still refused to film with her. VH1 halted production on spin-offs she was in talks for. And Mona Scott-Young, who had once seen Karlie as a ride or die ratings magnet, now viewed her as a liability. We can't afford another scandal like this, Mona reportedly said in a closed-door meeting. Either Karlie steps away voluntarily or we write her out. The pressure mounted. And just when things seemed to be cooling off, another bombshell dropped, this time from an unexpected source. Joseline Hernandez, the Puerto Rican princess who had been MIA from the LHATL stage for years, resurfaced with a series of Instagram lives claiming she had proof that both Yandy and Karlie had been scamming the network and the drama was all part of the script. None of them clean, Joseline hissed, her face glowing with highlighter and fury. They all been finessing, but they ain't slicker than me. Fans didn't know what to believe anymore. Was the drama real? Was it all fake? Or was it something in between, a tangled mess of egos, ambition, and unresolved trauma playing out under bright lights and producer cues? Amid the confusion, producers announced a final sit-down episode, LHATL Unfiltered, The Fallout. This wasn't a reunion. It was something new. No host, no studio audience, just Karlie and Yandy face-to-face, no interruptions, no scripts. Just two women with nothing left to lose. Cameras rolled for over 5 hours. Only an hour would make it to air. But what was captured behind the scenes? Cast members said it was brutal, real, and unlike anything they'd ever seen. In the aired footage, both women appeared composed, but exhausted. Yandy wore a simple navy blue jumpsuit. Karlie, all black. They sat across from each other in a dimly lit set. Eyes locked, tension electric. Why? Yandy asked. No anger, just exhaustion. After everything I tried to do for you, why did you go after me like that? Karlie blinked. Because you made me feel small, like I was disposable, like I didn't matter unless I bowed to you. I snapped. I wanted to hurt you. Yandy nodded slowly. Well, you did, but you hurt yourself too. I know, Karlie whispered. And just like that, for the first time in what felt like forever, the air cleared between them. They didn't hug, they didn't cry together, but they looked at each other with the weight of everything they had lost and perhaps a sliver of what they might rebuild. When the episode aired, fans were stunned. The raw honesty, the stripped-down emotion, the reality behind the reality show it hit different. The hashtag LHHATL healing trended for 2 days straight. One viewer tweeted, "This is what growth looks like. Pain, honesty, and no camera tricks." Another said, "I never thought Karlie and Yandy would humanize each other. This was beautiful and heartbreaking." And while both women's futures on the show remain uncertain, one thing is crystal clear. They changed the game. They tore off the masks, exposed the bones of the industry, and made us all question how much of our reality is real and how much is just a performance for someone else's gain. But perhaps in all the betrayal, manipulation, and chaos, something real was born. Not friendship, not forgiveness, but understanding. And in the world of love and hip-hop, that might be the most powerful plot twist of all. And just like that, the storm finally began to settle, but the scars it left behind may never fully heal. What started as a clash between two reality TV veterans became one of the most jaw-dropping, heart-wrenching sagas in love and hip-hop. Atlanta. History. Fans witnessed reputations destroyed, alliances shattered, and secrets that were never meant to see daylight come crashing down in front of millions. Yandy Smith Harris and Karlie Redd didn't just fight, they forced the world to question the very line between reality and scripted chaos, between ambition and betrayal, between exposure and exploitation. Now, with both women stepping back from the spotlight, the future of LHATL hangs in suspense. Will Yandy rebuild her public image and reclaim her empire? Will Karlie ever regain the trust of her fans or even her castmates? Can either woman ever return to the same stage after so much has been said, leaked, and lived? But the biggest question is, what happens next? Was this the end of their story or just the beginning of a brand new era for the franchise? Because in this world, nothing stays buried forever. And in Atlanta, drama has a way of finding its way back to the surface, louder, messier, and more unfiltered than ever before. What do you think, fam? Was Karlie the victim or the villain? Did Yandy deserve what came her way? Or was she just caught in a messy setup? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear everything. Don't forget to hit that like button if you were glued to this drama from start to finish. Subscribe for more explosive breakdowns like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the madness. This isn't just reality TV, it's reality redefined. Until next time, stay messy, stay curious, and stay tuned because love and hip-hop just keeps rewriting the rules.